Hey there fellow trailblazers, in this video we will be going over the Pink Foxian Jiaoqiu's full kit and abilities. Keep in mind as this is the first version of his kit and is subject to change. Jiaoqiu is a Pink Foxian male with fire element and follows the path of Nihility. Basic attack deals fire damage equal to 100% of Jiaoqiu's attack to a single enemy. Skill deals fire damage equal to 180% of Jiaoqiu's attack to a single enemy, and fire damage equal to 90% of Jiaoqiu's attack to enemies adjacent to it. Has a 100% base chance to inflict one stack of Ashen Roast on the primary target. This skill does AoE blast damage and has a 100% base chance to apply a stack of Jiaoqiu's debuff. This chance can be further increased by building effect hit rate on the character. Talent: when Jiaoqiu uses his basic attack, skill, or ultimate to hit an enemy, there is a 100% base chance of dealing one stack of Ashen Roast, increasing the initial damage enemies receive by 15%, with each stack additionally increasing damage by 5% to a max of 5 stacks. Ashen Roast will last 2 turns. This debuff can be applied by any of Jiaoqiu's abilities and, when a stack of it is applied, it initially increases the damage taken by 15%. Further stacks, however, only give a 5% damage increase and stack up to 5 times. Ultimate sets the number of Ashen Roast stacks on enemy targets to the highest number of Ashen Roast stacks present on the battlefield. Then, activates a field and deals fire damage equal to 200% of Jiaoqiu's attack to all enemies. While inside the field, enemy targets take 15% increased ultimate damage, with a 60% base chance of being inflicted with one stack of Ashen Roast when taking action. This effect can only be triggered once for enemies in each turn. The field lasts for 3 turns, and its duration decreases by 1 at the start of this unit's every turn. If Jiaoqiu is knocked down, the field will also be dispelled. To put it in simpler terms, after activating this ultimate, Jiaoqiu's debuff stacks are set to max in. Then it deals large amounts of fire damage to all targets. The field lasts for 3 turns and, while inside it, enemies take increased damage from ultimates and have a base chance to be inflicted with a stack of the Ashen Roast debuff every time they take an action. Technique: after using technique, creates a special dimension that lasts for 15 seconds. After engaging enemies in the dimension, deals fire damage equal to 100% of Jiaoqiu's attack to all enemies, and has a 100% base chance of applying one Ashen Roast stack. Only one dimension created by allies can exist at the same time. Activating this technique deals AoE damage and has a base chance to apply a stack of Jiaoqiu's debuff at the start of the fight. Now let's go over Jiaoqiu's traces. Trace 1. When a field exists, enemies entering combat will be inflicted with Ashen Roast stacks. The number of stacks applied will match the highest number of Ashen Roast stacks inflicted, while the field is active, with a minimum of 1 stacks. Basically, this trace just makes it so as long as Jiaoqiu's ultimate field is active, it inflicts stacks of the debuff whenever a new enemy enters the battle. The number of stacks inflicted depend on the highest number currently inflicted debuffs, with a minimum of 1 stack. Trace 2. When Jiaoqiu's effect hit rate is higher than 80%, for each 15% exceeded, Jiaoqiu additionally gains 60% attack, up to a maximum of 240%. Trace 3. When a field exists, the enemy's effect hit rate is reduced by 30%. At the start of each turn, they receive additional fire damage equal to 150% of Jiaoqiu's attack. Now let's go over Jiaoqiu's Light Cone, those many springs. Effect increases the wearer's effect hit rate by 60%. If the target is not under the unarmored effect dealt by the wearer, when the wearer uses a basic attack, skill, or ultimate on enemy targets, there is a 60% base chance to inflict unarmored to the enemy. Under the unarmored state, the target enemy's damage received is increased by 10%, lasting for 2 turns. When the wearer deals damage to an enemy with the unarmored effect inflicted by themselves, there is a 60% base chance to escalate the unarmored state from them into the cornered state, which increases the target enemy's damage received by 18%. This light cone gives the wearer unconditional 60% effect hit rate and has a 60% base chance to apply a special debuff on the enemy target, increasing their damage taken by 10% for 2 turns. And when the wearer attacks the enemy again, it has a further 60% base chance to inflict the target, with additional 18% damage debuff. Now finally let's go over Jiaoqiu's Eidolons. E1. When an ally attacks an enemy target afflicted with Ashen Roast, increases damage dealt by 48%. 8% each time the talent triggers a Shen Roast. Additionally increases the present Shen Roast stacks by 1. E2. A Shen Roast can be considered as a burn status. Enemies with a Shen Roast will suffer fire equal to 300% of Jiaoqiu's attack at the start of each turn. E4. When the field exists, reduces enemy target's attack by 15%. E6. When the enemy target is defeated, existing Shen Roast stacks will be transferred to a surviving enemy, with the lowest amount of Shen Roast stacks. Increases max Shen Roast stacks to 9. Every stack of Shen Roast will reduce all enemies' all-type resistance by 3%. So that's all the information we currently have about Jiaoqiu's kit. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more HSR content. I'll see you in the next video.